Welcome to this bedtime story for everyone. This story will help you feel calm and ready for a good night's sleep. As you listen, let your heart feel happy, your body relax, and your mind go on a journey with Étienne, the wanderer in our tale. Before we start, take a few deep breaths and get comfortable. Let your body be still, except for the gentle rise and fall of your belly as you breathe. Now, let's begin. Étienne awakens abruptly, startled. He had nearly dozed off, his head having fallen backwards to rest on the wall behind him. Looking around, he notices that he is not the only one. All around him, early morning workers are catching a few more moments of sleep before arriving at their destinations, though no one else seems to have awoken at that moment. Must be one of those hypnotic jerks, he thinks. Perhaps I hadn't even fallen asleep at all. Étienne's daily commute is a particularly long one. He lives in his own flat at the southernmost end of the Northern Line in London. Despite the lengthy journey into work each morning, he never misses an opportunity to remind himself of how grateful he is to find an open seat. He is always one of the first on the train. Perhaps, he thinks, the distance is worth the seated journey in. Étienne thinks about the place he is whizzing off to at this early hour. He is a program manager for a small but well-respected software development company based in London. He has worked there for nearly 8 years, having started when he first finished his studies. He enjoys the company of the people he works with and has a good working relationship with his boss. But something in Étienne's gut contracts each time he thinks about walking into the office. He watches this reaction come and then watches it leave, though never forgetting that something is not sitting right. He arrives at work that morning and says hello to the others, who have also arrived for 7. He prefers to get his day started as soon as possible, so that he can finish up early and enjoy the late-day sun as it falls upon the lush green parks of London. His fingers get to work, typing away to clients and working on projects. Sometimes, usually when the afternoon rolls around and the others have not yet returned from lunch, he takes a break from software to do some research on places he might like to visit: Japan, Australia, Peru, Greece. But on this particular morning, he is focused. He is busy working on a new project for a startup company based in Athens. As he types away, his boss gently interrupts him with a proposal. "Étienne, I've been thinking," she says. "I'd really love for us to get to know the team in Athens on a personal level. I'd like to send you over there to meet our clients and to put a face to our name. There really is potential here for a long and strong relationship." For the first time in a long time, Étienne beams and his heart flutters. A smile stretches from ear to ear. His boss, Louisa, takes this as a yes. "I'd love to." He'll spend 5 days in the city with plenty of time for both work and a bit of exploration. Étienne's mother is Greek, having grown up just outside of Athens many moons ago. She moved to England when she was quite young, returning only a few times since then. Étienne himself has never been, but has always felt a strong yearning in his bones to return to the place of his ancestors. Life has simply gotten too busy, he thinks. But he knows this is no excuse. Étienne returned home that night and begins packing immediately. He is not due to leave until the end of the week, but struggles to contain his excitement. He calls his mother and father to tell them. They are both delighted. He rests in bed that night, looking out his window to the stars and the sky. The moon is nearly full, illuminating the city and the surrounding lands below. Planes pass by as flashing lights that effortlessly float across the universe. Soon, he thinks, I will be inside one of these vessels. He has not flown since he was a teenager, and he is now approaching 30. Memories begin creeping into his mind. He thinks about his childhood and the strong bond he had with his grandparents. His grandfather on his father's side was a farmer. Étienne remembers traipsing through the fields with him, and sometimes into the forest to collect wild berries and herbs. He always felt as if he were in a fairy tale when they wandered off into the woods. Something about it felt mystical, Perhaps it was the way the wind would rustle the leaves, or the sounds of the flittering birds. Perhaps it was the crunching of twigs underfoot. He loved the smell of evergreens and the way the light trickled in through the dense canopy overhead. Perhaps, he thinks, it was a blend of all these things. He remembers his mother's mother vividly, the way she cooked, the way she laughed. She was incredibly kind and loving, and always requested Étienne and his sister Katrina help in the kitchen. The two of them would rinse and dry the leafy greens and herbs, and then help their grandmother cook the pasta sauce. They'd stir and stir and stir as she added all sorts of aromatic herbs to the simmering tomatoes. It had been a long time since Étienne had cooked, a realization that stirred something in his belly. He missed it. He missed the slowness of time that enveloped him when he helped his grandmother prepare dinner. It's been too long. The week passes slowly until finally Friday arrives. With his bags packed, Étienne takes one last look around his apartment. He knows he's only gone for an extra long weekend, but says so long anyway. On the train to the airport, Étienne admires the greenery of London's outskirts. The sun is shining, and the May blossoms are a sure sign that spring has arrived. He feels a quiet anticipation whirling in his heart. Though the trip is primarily for business, he will have the entire weekend to explore the city of Athens before meeting his client on Monday. It has been a long time since he's taken a trip like this, and one to his mother's homeland is stirring his sense of adventure. His flight to Athens from London is only a few hours long. As the plane soars through the clouds, he looks down on the continent below, appearing and disappearing as the plane moves in and out of the sky's veil. How miraculous, Étienne thinks, that humans are able to fly. As a child, he often dreamt about being able to fly. In one particular recurring dream, he would watch himself sprout wings and soar across open fields and oceans. He'd then awake, thinking that perhaps the dream was a prophecy for his future. Étienne laughs to himself at the recognition of this memory and thinks perhaps this sort of flying is not quite the same, but it is certainly close enough. The plane lands by early afternoon and Étienne makes his way into the center of town. He is staying at a small guest house within a short walking distance of the city's ancient ruins. He checks in and wanders up the spiral stone staircase to the third floor. His room is immaculate, with a delicate blend of rustic and modern touches. It is simple, but it is all he could need. He takes a deep breath in and releases a sigh as he breathes out. A wave of peace and comfort overcomes him. The room boasts a small balcony, with sheer curtains covering the glass door that opens to the outside world. Étienne makes his way to the balcony and steps out. His room looks out into the ancient Acropolis. Athens buzzes below, a city he is ready to explore. Étienne wanders through the narrow streets and alleys, through markets, and along winding roads that are lined with trees. With no map, he feels entirely lost, and yet with no concerns in the world. He is taking the unknown road, allowing it to unfold as he goes, step by step. He takes a few sets of stairs and wanders along cobblestone pathways until he reaches the foot of the Acropolis. Staring up at this ancient fortress, Étienne feels for a moment as if he has wandered back in time. He wonders what it would have been like to live in ancient Greece. Countless myths come to mind as he recalls some of the stories his grandmother used to tell. He remembers it all, feeling so very otherworldly, like the way being at the foot of the Acropolis feels to him now. He pays his admission and ventures in, finding his breath having gone missing for just a few moments as he enters. Something has taken him aback, nearly moving him to tears. As he surrenders to this space and to the emotion arising in him, he realizes how long it has been since he has allowed himself to be moved. The trip to Athens begins to unveil a new Étienne, a version of himself he can't quite describe, but one that brings about feelings of peace, confidence, and clarity. He breathes in and out effortlessly as he wanders the ancient Greek city. He dedicates the entire weekend to simply indulging in local cuisine, breathing in the history of ancient ruins, and sleeping soundly for as long as his body calls for. All worries melt away as he grants himself permission to be entirely present with the land whose history courses through his veins. It has been a long time since he has slept so well. He drifts off easily and awakes feeling inspired and energized. As he explores, he somehow forgets all about his meeting on Monday morning. But still, when the morning arrives, he packs his computer and heads to the startup's small office in the center of town. He meets with Sam, the company's founder, and is introduced to the team he has been working with virtually over the past month. They talk about all things tech for what feels like hours, while Étienne's heart is elsewhere. The meeting wraps up and Sam thanks him greatly for coming all the way to Athens to see what the company is like on the ground level. Étienne smiles, thanks him in return, and heads back to his hotel for the final evening. Étienne's final evening in Athens is filled with a sense of fulfillment and lingering anticipation. He decides to take one last stroll through the city. The sun is setting, casting a warm golden glow over the ancient stones of the Acropolis and the bustling streets below. He meanders through the neighborhoods, savoring the sounds, sights, and smells. The aroma of grilled meats and fresh herbs wafts from nearby tavernas, and the chatter of locals and tourists blends into a harmonious background hum. As he walks, Étienne finds himself at a small cafe, tucked away in a quiet corner of the city. He takes a seat at an outdoor table and orders a cup of Greek coffee and a piece of baklava. The coffee is strong and aromatic, and the baklava is rich and sweet, its honey and nuts melding together in perfect harmony. As he enjoys his treats, Étienne reflects on his journey. He thinks about the clarity he has gained, the peace he has felt, and the new sense of purpose stirring within him. He realizes that this trip has been about more than just work or a brief escape. It has been a reconnection with a part of himself he had almost forgotten. The memories of his grandparents, the stories of his ancestors, and the history of the land have all come together to reignite a spark within him. With the night settling in, Étienne makes his way back to his guest house. He packs his belongings, feeling a mix of contentment and reluctance. He knows that returning to London means going back to his routine, but he is determined to bring this newfound sense of clarity and purpose with him. The next morning, Étienne heads to the airport. The flight back is smooth and uneventful, and he spends the time looking out the window, watching the world below pass by. As the plane descends into London, he feels a sense of readiness, ready to embrace his life with a renewed perspective and to make changes where needed. Back in his apartment, Étienne unpacks and takes a moment to absorb the familiar surroundings. Everything is the same, yet he feels different. He decides to start by cooking a meal inspired by his grandmother. He heads to the local market, picks up fresh ingredients, and spends the afternoon in the kitchen. The process is therapeutic, and the aromas bring back fond memories. When the meal is ready, he sits down to eat, savoring each bite. The following Monday, Étienne arrives at the office with a fresh outlook. He greets his colleagues warmly and dives into his work with enthusiasm. He takes time to connect more deeply with his team, sharing stories from his trip and discussing ideas for future projects. His boss, Louisa, notices the change in him and comments on his renewed energy and focus. Weeks go by, and Étienne finds himself more engaged and fulfilled than ever. He starts planning another trip, this time to visit the village where his mother grew up. He wants to delve deeper into his roots and continue exploring the world. The excitement of travel, the joy of discovery, and the connection to his heritage have become an integral part of his life. Étienne's journey to Athens was more than just a business trip. It was a journey of self-discovery and renewal. It taught him the importance of staying connected to his roots, embracing new experiences, and finding balance in life. As he continues to navigate his path, he carries with him the lessons learned and the memories made, always looking forward to the next adventure. Étienne's journey of self-discovery and renewal continued to unfold in unexpected ways. As he settled back into his routine in London, he found himself incorporating elements of his Greek experience into his daily life. He started cooking more Mediterranean, inspired meals using herbs and spices reminiscent of the flavors he had enjoyed in Athens. His newfound passion for cooking led him to explore local markets and specialty stores, discovering ingredients he had never used before. He experimented with different recipes, blending traditional Greek dishes with his own creative twists. Each meal became a celebration of culture, heritage, and personal expression. Beyond the kitchen, Étienne found himself reconnecting with old hobbies and interests. He started painting again, inspired by the vibrant colors of the Greek landscape. His artworks captured scenes from his trip: ancient ruins, sun, drenched streets, and coastal vistas. Painting became a form of meditation for him, allowing him to express his emotions and experiences in a visual language. Étienne also made a conscious effort to slow down and appreciate the simple moments in life. He spent more time outdoors, going for walks in the park and soaking in the beauty of nature. He found solace in quiet moments of reflection, taking deep breaths and being present in the moment. At work, Étienne's renewed sense of purpose and creativity reflected in his projects. He approached challenges with a fresh perspective, drawing inspiration from his travels and cultural experiences. His colleagues noticed the positive change in him, and he became known for his innovative ideas and collaborative spirit. As months passed, Étienne's desire for exploration and adventure grew stronger. He took weekend trips to nearby cities, immersing himself in different cultures and landscapes. He also continued to plan larger journeys, setting his sights on destinations that resonated with his heritage and personal interests. One day, Étienne received an invitation to speak at a technology conference in Athens. It was a serendipitous opportunity that aligned perfectly with his desire to return to the place that had ignited his journey of self-discovery. He eagerly accepted the invitation, excited to revisit the city that held so many memories and lessons for him. The conference was a success, and Étienne had the chance to connect with old friends and colleagues from his previous trip. He also explored new parts of Athens, discovering hidden gems and experiencing the city from a different perspective. It felt like a full circle moment, a culmination of his growth and evolution since his first visit. As Étienne stood overlooking the Acropolis once again, he felt a profound sense of gratitude and fulfillment. He realized that his journey had come full circle, from a place of uncertainty and introspection to a place of clarity and purpose. He had unleashed the warrior within himself, the fearless explorer, the creative visionary, the resilient soul. Étienne's story serves as a reminder that the journey of self-discovery is ongoing and ever evolving. It is about embracing change, stepping out of comfort zones, and staying true to one's passions and values. Through each experience, challenge, and triumph, Étienne learned that the true essence of life lies in the pursuit of growth, authenticity, and the relentless pursuit of one's dreams. And as he looked ahead to new horizons, Étienne knew that the adventure was just beginning. As Étienne stood overlooking the Acropolis once again, he felt a profound sense of gratitude and fulfillment. He realized that his journey had come full circle, from a place of uncertainty and introspection to a place of clarity and purpose. He had unleashed the warrior within himself, the fearless explorer, the creative visionary, the resilient soul. During his time in Athens, Étienne had discovered more than just the beauty of Greece. He had discovered the beauty within himself, the courage to follow his passions, the creativity to express his true self, and the resilience to face challenges head. As he boarded the plane back to London, Étienne carried with him a renewed sense of purpose and a deep appreciation for life's journey. Back in London, Étienne's story continued to inspire those around him. His colleagues admired his transformation and the way he approached life with enthusiasm and authenticity. Étienne became a mentor to others, sharing his experiences and encouraging them to embrace their own paths of self-discovery. As months turned into years, Étienne continued to explore the world, pursuing his passions and living life to the fullest. He never forgot the lessons he had learned during his time in Athens: the importance of embracing change, staying true to oneself, and never giving up on dreams. Moral lessons. 1. Embrace change. Étienne's journey taught him that change is inevitable and often leads to personal growth. By embracing new experiences and challenges, we can discover hidden strengths and unlock our full potential. 2. Stay true to yourself. Throughout his journey, Étienne remained authentic to his passions, values, and aspirations. Being true to oneself allows for a deeper connection with life's experiences and a sense of fulfillment. 3. Pursue your dreams. Étienne's story is a testament to the power of pursuing one's dreams with determination and resilience. By setting goals, overcoming obstacles, and staying committed to personal growth, we can create meaningful and fulfilling lives. Étienne's journey of self-discovery and transformation reflects the realities of real life. We all face moments of uncertainty, challenges, and opportunities for growth. By tapping into our inner strength, embracing change, and staying true to our dreams, we can navigate life's journey with courage, passion, and purpose.